This is a story of survival, of resilience, hope, adventure, and determination. This is our story. The story.
That is the voice of Oscar nominee Lily Gladstone in the new documentary Bring Them Home, the inspiring story of the Blackfeet Nation's journey to restore wild buffalo to their ancestral lands. Lily is the narrator and executive producer of this award-winning film and joins us now. Lily, it's good to see you. Welcome back to the morning show.
Thank you for having me again.
Well, listen, this film is really bringing home the award. So first of all, congratulations. Want to mention in particular the Big Sky Festival, where your family was in attendance and members of the Blackfeet Nation. What was that screening? What was it like?
You know, I wasn't there. I was doing the other press stuff, but I heard that the evening was just a triumphant one, kind of like the feeling of the film when you follow it through to the end.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you as well, I'll go back to your really history-making speech at the Golden Globes last year, because you highlighted the importance of Indigenous people telling their own stories and thanked the community that raised you. What was it like to tell this story together with them?
You know, this doc was a number of years, so it kind of played out in real time. There's been a long effort that not just the Blackfeet Nation of Montana, but the entire Siksikaitsitpipi, all the Blackfoot people, which includes 3 of our nations in Canada. There's been this, this push to bring buffalo back onto our lands for so long. And, having just grown up around that and in cowboy culture, knowing kind of what that shift looks like, seeing that shift happen with families so much, seeing this return and this revitalization of what really kind of binds us together. I've just been told and heard around my whole life that we're buffalo people living in a cattle age. So it was a beautiful, wonderful thing. I've been working on this doc for a lot longer than before Killers of the Flower Moon came out, long before I was ever cast in Killers of the Flower Moon. So the timing of the two coming out, it felt like, okay, here it is. This is the platform that I'm getting to have right now. There's this film. It's this beautiful community effort that hopefully the whole world can pull some much needed hope from.
And Indigenous-led restoration efforts have helped bring back hundreds of buffalo, including right here in Canada. What does it mean to share this story with a Canadian audience?
Blackfoot Nation, the Blackfoot Confederacy, I always say we're one of those people where the border crossed us. So for us, this multi-tribal effort across our confederacy that extends across the border, buffalo know no fences. They also know no borders. This particular herd that you meet is the genetic herd that was on Blackfeet land since time immemorial and then was kept safe in Canada for a number of years before we brought them home. Chief Mountain that you see on the poster there borders Canada. Buffalo are, they're as they're going back into Glacier Park, they're also crossing into Waterton. Both parks are really eager and excited to have them. It's an incredibly meaningful one because, there's a lot of divisiveness in the world right now. There's not the greatest American-Canadian relationship right now with the administration that I didn't vote for. But the land doesn't see that border. The people really, we don't see that border. We've got family on either side of it. And land and climate change issues that climate change pose for all of us also know no borders. So it feels like this new lens to look at the landscape, to look at time, to look at these two nations, and I guess just bridging that divide. I think it's kind of again timely and poetic, the timing of the release of this and the evolution of bringing buffalo back to our lands as well. Yeah, it just feels kind of feels like the Confederacy is still very much intact, regardless of any borders.
Mm-hmm. Listen, before we run out of time, I want to also ask you about your Academy Awards gowns with a quilt work by Indigenous artist Joe Big Mountain, now on display at the Smithsonian. What does that mean to you?
It was really it was so wonderful walking into the Smithsonian, the National Museum of the American Indian. I've gone to several times, but it's been for events, so I kind of get shuffled to the green room to go on stage and then get shuffled right out again. So having the chance to walk through this incredibly beautifully curated museum, and then seeing at the end of this long hallway that highlights other Native women artists, at the end of it in this little room, you see these two gowns. It's it's a really special thing to share with people. I encourage people to go to NMAI before the dresses leave the exhibition that they're in next March, and check out the whole museum while you're there. It's a remarkable thing seeing that such a beautifully curated museum of living people, not of artifacts of, people long gone, like it's kind of the assumption a lot of folks have of Native peoples. Seeing something in a very modern sense, in a very luxury sense, in a very historical sense was just, a little bit out of body, I guess.
All right. Well, we want to remind everybody that Bring Them Home is streaming now. Lily, thanks so much. It's always great having you with us here at TMS. Appreciate it.
Anytime.